My name is Bryce Ross. I am the Property Director National for Rhome Property Management. We are a single-family property management company. We delve a little bit in multifam, but for the most part, our bread and butter is single-fam residential property management. So we are located in about 24 markets right now, getting up into hopefully about 18,000 doors shortly. So we are growing. We're a pretty big operation. And yeah, that's us. Rhome has been looking for integration partners for a bit. We decided to work with a company like Latchel because, we've got managers, property managers, branch managers in multiple markets who are trying to do this all at once on their own. We're spread out. We needed some support for them to be able to kind of handle their bandwidth. So instead of, doing everything, leasing, property inspections, move-ins, everything, while taking a million phone calls about maintenance. And, even though we have web portals for residents, it just made sense to have somebody else helping our managers with the bandwidth. There have been a couple of great benefits of starting that with Latchel. For our teams, the bandwidth reduction from having to, field calls for maintenance for work orders, and then having to put on their maintenance work order hat. Most of our managers are trained specialists in real estate leasing, not in diagnosing maintenance. And I think, that's pretty normal across the board. So they have a way to kind of not have to manage that as hard. They've got somebody else diagnosing the back end. They're just managing the work orders, not trying to manage the maintenance, which is great. That's been really helpful. The immediate response for residents has been very helpful. Residents, when they have a work order or a problem, for us as a property manager, it's just, item number 50 on our list for that day. For a resident, it's the biggest thing that's happening in their life. So, we can't always have a manager just on call to talk to them right this second. And Latchel can step in and kind of fill that void a little bit, which is, having somebody they can talk to right away, having them be heard, having them get their information across, diagnosed, and to have it start, going out into the system for somebody to fix it is really nice. And on top of that, from a manager perspective, essentially, I said they just get to manage the maintenance instead of manager. So the manager gets to manage the work orders instead of manage the maintenance. It's really nice that in the background, things are happening. The manager can watch it, the manager can monitor it, and they didn't have to make phone calls. They didn't have to take an interruption to their day to take a phone call, to start scheduling with vendors, to diagnose, to do all those things. They can see that that's happening in the background while they're going about the rest of their day. Those are our biggest benefits to Latchel. The biggest value to the residents is just having somebody to take their calls 24/7. So somebody to be able to take the work order for the broken sink at 7 p.m. And I don't have a manager that's, on call for that. I've got managers at dinner. The residents don't have to wait for the manager to fit them into their day. The process starts without the manager. The manager still has to monitor it. Property managers need to be on top of it, but they don't have to be the first, only, and last contact when it comes to a maintenance work order. I've actually recommended the product to another property management firm who's going through the same things we're going through, which is just needing to decrease bandwidth for their property managers. And I've been, very candid with them. If people are looking for a service that's going to do your maintenance for you, and take over the entire process, that's probably not why you should be hiring Latchel. You should not be hiring somebody as a maintenance expert to take on your properties and your owners for you and do the work for you as a property manager. That's still your job. But at the end of the day, having the ability to have every work order come through the same way, consistent, have this consistent response and customer service to every single work order is very valuable as a property management company. Customer service of the Latchel team is pretty much beyond any other third-party integration we work with. So we have a fairly dedicated concierge person, and that's not just what Maddie is, but like that's how we feel. We feel like we have like very personal service with Latchel, and it's been very helpful in the setup, in the continuance of using. She's been with us for a full year of just being there for everything we need. So help diagnose and troubleshoot, and even like take our suggestions and make it better for us and better for Latchel, which has been really nice to see. So one of the hidden great points of Latchel is that it makes a certain percentage of our resident requested maintenance work go away, either through diagnosis, through notifying the resident that that's possibly part of their responsibility as tenant, or any other factor. We have a number of jobs that just they show up and then it gets resolved on the back end without the property manager ever having to look at it, deal with it, make a phone call at all, make a diagnosis call, and that's invaluable for us.